MMA Fancast. My name's Luke Basin, and I'm honored today to be joined by Noah, the ace, Kiszka. Noah, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
It's really great having you on the show. Last time I had you on the show, we were in person. I had gotten to see you have a really nice finish win. And we interviewed, I got to interview you really quickly right afterwards. You just had a quick turnaround fight and another nice win, a decision win this Saturday, a few days ago. So thanks for coming on the show to talk about it. You're now 3-0 at featherweight. You're starting to climb the Tapology rankings, obviously, because you're 3-0. Walk us through the fight, all three rounds, and the fact that it went to decision. Take us maybe one round at a time and give us your thoughts on each.
So when going into the fight, he had just come off of a pretty big knockout in his debut win. He's a tough striker. He's scrappy. Definitely could hit hard, and he was wild. So he was kind of hard to prepare for, not knowing what he was going to come out and do necessarily. So the first round, we kind of just wanted to feel him out. Ended up getting into exchange early and started scrambling, and I'm able to throw him right into mount, I believe. And then I held mount the entire first round. It was pro rules, so I was able to experiment with like some elbows and just being able to throw whatever I wanted on top, which was nice. Second round, same thing. Came out, got into an exchange, got a takedown, held him in mount again the entire second round, and then the third round I took him down again, held mount, and I really landed a lot of ground and pound. Tried to go for the finish, left it all out, but he's a tough kid and was able to hold me and limit damage for sure.
Well, thanks for giving us a round by round. Very interesting. Was this in Virginia because it was pro rules? Because I know Virginia has pro rules for amateurs, so kind of a lot to work with tool wise.
Yep, it was actually my first time. Like, haven't trained elbows too much, so we really just focused in on the rule set for this fight and really being free whenever I went out there, being able to do it. I threw 2 head kicks, and neither of them landed, but it was nice to be able to just go out there and just try different things. No shin guards, so it was. I like the pro rule set. It definitely fits my style a lot better than like ones that have limited, especially stuff on the ground.
Yeah, fortunately, I don't know. Well, I know you fought before in Pennsylvania for 247. That was your debut. The good news at your record now, most states, particularly Pennsylvania, since I know that one the best, they have advanced amateur rules. So in Pennsylvania, if you were to come back and fight for 247 or any Pennsylvania fight, you'd have longer rounds, 3-minute rounds. You wouldn't have shin guards. You'd be allowed ground and pound, but no knees or elbows. So you wouldn't have the elbows and no head kicks. So you're still limited, but you'd have a lot more of the ground and pound, longer rounds. It's a bit of a blend hybrid. I know you're putting together a really nice win streak. You're staying busy. What is working so well for you? I know you train out of Bauer House. You fought for 247. Your teammate and one of the coaches for Bauer House, Cody Matthews, had an incredible knockout win against Victor Lipari, which was, a big upset, or at least a very surprising outcome, given the fact that that at least most people know your buddy Cody has more of a grappler, and he threw in a really nice finish. So what do you like training at Bauer House? I think you also cross train. So talk a little bit about how training's been going to get you ready for this.
So I think of my first 2 fights, I'm still trying to get in the mixed martial arts mindset. I think I definitely was really grapple heavy in my first 2 fights. I was still grapple heavy in my third fight, but I think the biggest difference between me and December and me now is I'm like completely like dove into mixed martial arts as a whole. Like, I'm training twice a day now, spending hours on hours on like every part of the game and not just my grappling. And I'm not going to practice and just doing striking this day and just grappling the next. Every day I'm doing striking, I'm doing grappling, I'm doing strength and conditioning. So really just filling out my schedule and training like a professional, I'd say, is the biggest difference.
That actually makes a lot of sense. You're doing a great job training more of that full MMA like a professional, because you are young, 21, 3 fights in. There was a time where, you roll back 10, 15 years ago, even professionals weren't training like you're currently training. I think that's why we see things so exciting in the amateur, early pro, because MMA just keeps getting deeper and deeper. You know, UFC is celebrating 25 years this year, and a lot of things have changed. How do you make it work training professionally? Are you working part-time, not working at all? Do you work full-time and train in the evenings? Kind of what is allowing you to train as much as you're training?
So really, I just wanted to take this summer to train as much as possible, and so just kind of get down here, and it's a new gym. You get comfortable. So I'm here as much as I can right now, and then towards the end of the summer, I'm hoping to get in one more time before September, and then I'm going to be working full time, and my hours of fighting are going to be more limited. But definitely just to dove into it a lot heavier this summer, and made it my entire focus, and it's definitely paying off for sure.
Well, yeah, and being able to do the most with the time you have, obviously, during the summer, I think makes a lot of sense. Hopefully, you can get another fight in before September. That would be fantastic for you. Obviously, it'll take a lot of that balance between working full time and still trying to train. For you, you're still developing your skill set, like you said. It took 2 times to kind of get used to the fact that you don't have to just grapple. You can do more of the striking. What are you kind of looking forward to if you get another fight by the September timeframe? What do you kind of want to keep developing?
I just want to keep getting better as a complete martial artist. I want to be comfortable wherever the fight takes place, and I think I am right now for the most part. But there's definitely some things I need to work on, and in certain areas and certain exchanges that happening, and just some habits that I've had from starting off, and just correcting it, keep getting better, to keep taking these tough fights for sure. I think you definitely need to be challenged as much as possible as an amateur. So, whether you take a tough fight and lose, or whether you take a tough fight and win, there's always something to learn from it for sure.
Yeah, and that is really the great idea of amateurs. There was an amateur fighter in the Jonas Rubio, I believe was his name, in out of Stout, I think, a couple years ago, and he came on the show and he said records are for DJs. Talking now the amateur record, although you have a very impressive undefeated 3-0, you want to develop your techniques and your skills, take on tough guys like you did last Saturday to really develop your skill set so that when you go pro. Well, I appreciate you coming on the show, and I guess it's obvious that you just came from a workout. What's the mindset like to be able to go from a win, a decision win, dominant decision win Wednesday and Saturday, and here we are Wednesday, and you're back to training. What's that like, being able to keep that motor going so quickly after a fight?
We actually have a saying down here at Bauer House. It's actually printed on the back of our rash guard, and it's all gas, no brakes. So that's kind of just the mindset I keep with this. No win is too big, and there's always something to be achieved or something to work on. So, I could have the biggest fight of my life, and I think I'd be back in the gym on Monday or Tuesday working on something new.
Well, that does make a lot of sense. Glad that's your gym's motto. And I've always said, as a coach, you have to worry a little bit more about the people that succeed on a Saturday, because sometimes come Monday or whatever next week, that success can, for some people, kind of breed that arrogance of not wanting to keep going. Whereas when somebody loses, they're almost, they're more motivated than. So I give you a lot of credit for having that motivation to continue to grind, to continue to learn, even though you did win. Obviously, you're winning because you're training, but sometimes, athletes can sometimes struggle with dealing with success because it can kind of breed some bad habits. So glad you're staying focused with all the things you're doing. I really appreciate you taking time out. You've been listening to Luke Basin with MMA Fancast with the fresh off the victory, the Ace, which is a great nickname, Noah Kiszka, the Ace. Thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me, Luke. It's nice to talk to you.
Appreciate it. Congratulations again, Noah. Have a good one.